Okay, I will start. Good afternoon, and welcome everyone for joining us today to celebrate the Asian Heritage Month at the University of Alberta, and to promote equity, diversity, and inclusivity by expressing solidarity against anti-Asian racism. I'm Chen Huang, Vice-Provost and Associate Vice President International, and I'm MC for this event. First, I would like to make the following statement. The University of Alberta acknowledges that we are located on Treaty 6 territory and respects the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First peoples of Canada, whose presence continue to enrich our vibrant community. This special event is co-organized by the Association of Chinese Canadian Professors, ACCP, and Engage India, Association of Professors, and the University of Alberta International. Now I'm very pleased to introduce our first speaker. Professor Bill Flanagan is the 14th President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Alberta. He joins the university from Queen's University, where he served as the Dean of Law for 14 years, from 2005 to 2019. He holds a BA in English and Philosophy from Carleton University, a JD from the University of Toronto, a DEA in International Economic Law from University Paris 1 Sorbonne, and an LLM from Columbia University. President Flanagan's scholarly work spans property law, corporate law, and international trade law. Under President Flanagan's leadership, the university is embarking on a major program of academic and administrative restructuring, guided by the University of Alberta of Tomorrow proposal, his 5-year vision for the university. Let's welcome President Flanagan to deliver his remarks.
Great, thank you very much, Chen. And I'm really delighted to be here today. And Chen tells me that we've well over 100 people participating. Is that correct, Chen?
150.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm just delighted to have an opportunity to join all of you today. And first, I would just like to begin by thanking the Association of Chinese Canadian Professors and Engage India Association of Professors and U of A International for organizing this event. And I know, Chen, you've had a very big hand in organizing today's event as well. So thank you. And the ACCP and EIAP are two very important professors' associations. And together they represent more than 200 professors and academic staff who are from China and India, or who are teaching or doing research on Asia. And today we're here to connect as a community and celebrate all of the outstanding achievements of the U of A community of Asian heritage. And this year's theme for Asian Heritage Month is recognition, resilience, and resolve. I think particularly resilience resonates with all of us this year with COVID. And this is a theme that points to both the contributions made and also the adversity that Asian communities have faced throughout Canadian history. And even as we celebrate the connections and communities that have been built over many years, the theme highlights how there have been and continue to be acts of racism experienced by those with Asian heritage. And I join you in solidarity in standing up against all forms of anti-Asian racism, hate crimes, and discrimination. And at the University of Alberta, we must continually strive to be a place where equity and inclusivity thrive in thought and in action. And this event is one example of the important leadership of many on our campuses. And last month, the International Students Association also held an Asian Community Leaders Summit, which offered students a forum to discuss anti-Asian racism. And these talks are key to maintaining the momentum in the anti-racism movement. And with all of you, I believe that education and open exchange of ideas and perspectives builds recognition, resilience, and resolve. and contributes to a greater understanding and a welcoming and an inclusive environment for all members of the University of Alberta community. And as a global university, the U of A is home of a large and an active group of faculty, graduate and undergraduate students and postdoctoral fellows who have cultural backgrounds and family histories that began in Asia. There are more than 6,600 international students on campus from Asian countries and many Asian students associations. About 5% of our 30,000 domestic students speak one of 42 different Asian languages as their mother tongue. And almost 10% of our roughly 3,000 academic staff have received at least one degree from an institution in Asia. And last year, a total of 451 postdoctoral fellows employed across campus held Asian citizenships. So the U of A works in partnership with more than 200 Asian universities, including several of India's prestigious institutes of technology and China's Tsinghua University. These partnerships include research collaborations, student exchanges, and joint degree programs. And often when we work with other Canadian universities to build these partnerships, with UBC and the University of Toronto, the U of A is a founding partner of the India-Canada Centre for Innovative Multidisciplinary Partnership to accelerate transformation and sustainability. And this began in 2012, and it's brought together researchers, industry innovators, government agencies, and community organizations from across India and Canada. And in addition to these research and teaching connections to Asia, Asian heritage is woven into the very fabric of the U of A's communities. And I'd just like to give you a few examples. The university is home to a world-class collection of Asian arts, such as the McTaggart collection of Chinese arts. And the U of A Botanical Gardens, and you'll see that, it may look like I'm sitting in one in the Botanical Garden right now with the beautiful backdrop, is home to a beautiful manifestation and celebration of Asian heritage in the Aga Khan Garden's traditional Islamic garden design, as well as the Kirimoto Japanese garden. And the Kirimoto Garden is named after the first U of A international student, Dr. Kirimoto. In 1930, Dr. Kirimoto was the first Japanese national to graduate from the University of Alberta. And when he returned to Japan, he established a system of colleges and universities which continue to thrive to this day. And again, these are only three of the many examples of Asian peoples and projects making a difference in the U of A community. Every day on our campuses, the Association of Chinese Canadian Professors and Engage India Association of Professors, both these organizations support and promote EDI and multiculturalism. And the members of both associations are innovators who contribute to our vision of connecting with the world and our vision of being a global university. The Association of Chinese Canadian Professors has been a strong supporter of the U of A Tsinghua Joint Research Center for Future Energy and Environment, while Engage India Associations of Professors is the main driver of the joint doctoral program between U of A and 4 of the top Indian institutes of technology. So many of the achievements of the U of A community is celebrating today and throughout Asian History Month are thanks to these 2 associations. And thanks to all of you here today. Thank you for all that you do to enrich our campuses, raise awareness, and build an inclusive, diverse, and welcoming community. So please join me in celebrating and honoring the contributions of all our Asian and Asian Canadian students, faculty, staff, and alumni. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Flanagan. So I'm now pleased to welcome our second speaker, Dr. Steve Patton. Dr. Patten is Interim Dean of the Faculty of Arts. He holds a PhD in political science from York University. In 2001, Dr. Patten joined the University of Alberta in the Department of Political Science with a research interest in contemporary politics in Canada and Alberta and how particular ideological agendas and approaches shape the quality of a democracy in Canada. In 2016, Dr. Patten was appointed as the Associate in Research for the Faculty of Arts. In this role, he works with faculty researchers to advance their research agendas, secure funding, and draw university and the public attention to the success and the contributions of research in the social sciences, humanities, and fine arts. In 2020, he accepted a 2-year appointment as Interim Dean of Arts. Let's welcome Dr. Patten.
Thank you, Chen, and good afternoon, everyone. Celebrations like Asian Heritage Month are a time to focus on the positive, to highlight achievements, and to profile the things that make us proud. I believe, however, that it is also important that we pause to consider the things that motivate us to celebrate must also motivate us to push back against darker and more troubling realities. Obviously, I'm speaking of the anti-Asian racism and anti-Asian hate crimes that President Flanagan referenced in his opening remarks. The shocking hate-fueled murders of 8 people, including 6 women of Asian descent in Atlanta this past March, was a wake-up call for many who were not aware of the prevalence of anti-Asian racism. The rush of media attention alerted complacent Canadians to just how prevalent this form of racism is in our society. This winter and spring, in major Canadian and American cities, we have seen protesters declaring that racism is a virus and challenging us to stop Asian hate. The sad reality is that anti-Asian racism, scapegoating, and targeted violence against Asians have all been on the increase over the past year. And these are problems that we are not immune to here on the University of Alberta campus. As faculty members, staff, and students in an institution that has proudly declared our commitment to equity and diversity, it is incumbent upon us to recognize and take seriously the widespread and systemic discrimination against Asians in Canada, in Alberta, in Edmonton, and also here on our campus. In response, institutional leaders, such as myself and President Flanagan, will typically declare that we stand in solidarity against racism and hate. But as a campus community, we need to go further. We need to reflect on how we can use our teaching, our research, and institutional processes to work for change. How we do this will vary with the context in which we are teaching, learning, and engaging in research. But whether we find ourselves learning and sharing in a chemistry lab or a political science lecture, we must challenge hate and work to achieve the sense of inclusivity that is needed for meaningful equity within our campus community. Today, we come together to honor the contribution of Asian and Asian Canadian members of our campus community. During Asian Heritage Month, our attention turns to the ways that we are each shaped by our heritage. But we should also take note of how celebrating heritage shapes the community around us. In celebrating Asian heritage, we create space within our campus community for thoughtful and respectful discussions. Through celebration, we support Asian pride, but more than that, we also challenge hateful forces and contribute to positive change. And this is something that is very important. So thank you, Chen, for giving me this opportunity to share these thoughts.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patten, for your inspiring and remarks and your commitment. So next, I would like to introduce Dr. Lijun Deng, President of Association of Chinese Canadian Professors. Dr. Deng is an associate professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. He joined the university in 2013 after obtaining a PhD degree from the University of California, Davis. Dr. Deng's research interests cover geotechnical, earthquake engineering, foundation engineering, soil structure interaction, and frozen ground engineering. And his research has spanned laboratory scale testing, full-scale testing, and geotechnical centrifuge modeling. Lately, he has focused on axial performance of school micro pilots and helical pilots, and the occurrence of liquefaction triggered by the 2015 Gorkha earthquake in Nepal. So let's welcome Dr. Deng.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, Dr. Chen Huang. I'm privileged to join all of you to celebrate the Asian Heritage Month, and I'm grateful for the support from the Mr. President Flanagan, colleagues, staff, and students of the UFA. Asian Heritage Month is an excellent time to reflect on Chinese heritage along with other Asian cultures. As the president of the Association of Chinese Canadian Professors, I am pleased to represent all of our members to celebrate with you. ACCP was established in 2001 and as a non-political, non-profit organization. The association has become a large affiliation with over 130 members with the Chinese heritage. Members of ACCP are primarily academic staff of Alberta. The vision of ACCP is to be recognized as an indispensable affiliation by the membership and as a locally and nationally recognized organization that promotes scientific, technological, and cultural exchange between Canada and China. On the occasion of Asian Heritage Month, I want to celebrate the contribution of all Asians and Asian Canadians, along with some of the major contributions of our members are making to the society. Our members are innovators, and they are making valuable contributions that are advancing the research excellence at the university in Canada and the wide world. And to demonstrate the dedication of ACCP members to research excellence, I just want to name a few examples from the University Folio website that were recently posted since April 2021. So one of the junior members of ACCP in psychiatry is leading a new research project, join our health data to develop an AI-based screening tool that can help doctors diagnose depression more precisely. Another ACCP member from the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry was a part of an international team that identified a protein that interferes with the body's ability to get rid of the bad cholesterol. Another ACCP member made the innovative spotlight in the newest edition of the Quad. He is leading the research in intelligent transportation systems, making self-driving cars an imminent and safe reality. ACCP members are also proud to be an integral part of pursuing groundbreaking COVID-19 research to serve the global community. At least 5 ACCP members, as of now, are working on research projects related to the COVID-19, from better understanding how the virus spreads, to faster and more accurate testing, to learning its impacts on our mental health. ACCP often find opportunities to share and celebrate our tradition and culture with others on campus and with local communities through events such as the Chinese New Year Gala, our annual barbecue event, and through our traditional Chinese festival. I want to thank all ACCP members for their significant contributions towards the economy of Alberta in Canada, and also for the public good. We're proud of being an integral part of a multicultural landscape here at the University of Alberta. I would like to thank the university for providing an equitable, diverse, and inclusive environment for the faculty members, staff, and students with the Asian culture. I also want to formally call for an action against all types of racism and anti-Asian hate crimes. Thank you for all for joining us today to celebrate Asian Heritage Month. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deng. And now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Amit Kumar, President of Engage India, Association of Professors. Dr. Kumar has served as NSERC Canvas, Alberta Innovates Associate Industry Research Chair in Energy and Environmental Systems Engineering since September 2012. He is also the Sanovas Energy Indot Chair in Environmental Engineering in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. He currently leads a large research group of researchers made up of postdoctoral fellows, graduate and undergraduate students, and research assistants in the area of integrated energy and environmental modeling and the life cycle of technical economic assessment of energy system. His research program focuses on assessing both conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. Dr. Kumar also serves as a Deputy Director of Future Energy Systems. So, Dr. Kumar, welcome you.
Thank you, Chen, for that introduction. And thank you all for joining us to celebrate Asian Heritage Month. I came to Edmonton in 2000 from India for my doctoral studies. Being the first member of my family to come out of India, there was a lot of apprehensions and unknowns at that time. I still remember my bus ride from Hosling International to the university, not knowing what a transfer means and how I was helped by an old lady in purchasing my first transfer. Canada has become home since then. This is true for a lot of us who have left our home and come here to make Canada our new home, based on our desire to excel and work hard, our intellect, and with an ambition to contribute to the betterment of the society. I'm here today to represent Engage India, Association of Professors. In April 2019, a group of researchers from 5 faculties at U of A, including myself, came together to establish Engage India. In past 2 years, our association's membership has grown to over 60 researchers from 9 faculties. The unifying goal of our association is to make U Alberta recognized as the Canadian leader of Indo-Canadian academic collaborations. We aim to achieve this by bringing together Canadian and Indian faculty members to foster collaborative research and promote educational exchange. Our members' various research engagements have contributed greatly to the success of our university, and their impact extends beyond the U of A academic community. For example, some of our members are involved with research project for IC Impact, which Dr. Flanagan talked about. These researchers are working with industry innovators, community leaders, and government agencies from across India and Canada to find solutions to the key challenges that affect the quality of life of millions of people in India and Canadian communities in the areas of safe and sustainable infrastructure, integrated water management, and public health. Many of our members are engaged in initiative with Sastry Indo-Canadian Institute, improving the quality of life of the people of Canada and India by building and strengthening intellectual and cultural linkages through research, dialogue, and exchange. In honor of Asian Heritage Month, I feel that it is also important to recognize the contributions of community members of Asian heritage who have impacted the U of A. One such example is Saroj and Prem Singh, who immigrated to Alberta in 1985. U of A's Saroj and Prem Singh Chair in Classical Indian Society and Polity was created in 2006 through a generous endowment from the Singhs. As we celebrate Asian heritage today, I would like to thank the Engage India community for their significant contributions towards the Canadian economy and for continuously working hard towards the society to make the society a better place and proving that diversity is a strength I'm happy to celebrate this occasion in an environment that supports equity, diversity, and inclusion. Hence, any act of racism based on color or origin is strongly condemned. With that, I'd like to thank everyone. Have a very good evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar. Now, next up, I would like to introduce Mr. Chanpreet Singh, President of International Students Association. Mr. Singh is a third-year computer engineering student who currently serves as International Students Association's president, ISA. So ISA is the largest student organization at the U of A to present a united voice for the international students community, while enhancing communications, sparking collaboration, and building a relationship between regional students associations and the student union and the university. ISA has been an active advocate and a champion, addressing the issues and the challenges that international students are facing during the COVID pandemics. So let's welcome Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Sen, for the kind introduction. I would like to start by also thanking ACCP, EIAP, and the UAI for inviting me to this very special event to celebrate the amazing work done by the Asian students, professors, and researchers at the university and Canada in general. A huge number of international students are from Asian countries, and we at ISA are proud to serve our rich and diverse Asian community. International students, they leave their families and friends behind, but they do bring their culture, heritage, and experience to Canada, ultimately contributing to truly providing a global education experience at the U of A. I grew up in Dubai, and I came to U of A since it offered me an opportunity to make friends from around the world. I can say today in my third year that yes, I have achieved my mission. Thanks to our diverse and vibrant international students community that I have met with some of the most amazing people in this institution. Many of them are from Asian countries. It's from them that I have learned about new cultures and celebrated new festivals such as Lunar New Year or Holi with all my friends. Last year has been a hard one for our Asian community members, and events like such are essential for us to express our solidarity against the anti-Asian racism. The International Students Association was first founded in 1961 at the U of A, and we are proud to play our part on campus to be the voice of thousands of international students. And as President Flanagan mentioned, the ISA hosted an Asian Community Leaders Summit earlier this year to provide a safe space to discuss the Asian racism faced by students on the campus. As a result, the ISA is working on few action items, such as training our resident assistants and university residents to deal with the racist incidents, working with the university departments to make racism reporting mechanisms easily accessible, engaging with International Weeks team to have a dedicated event to spread awareness and ensure that we have a more informed campus community to eliminate the unintentional racism. The ISA has been very proactive to work on this, and we have seen the same from the UAI and everyone within our campus community. I'm confident that today we would be able to address the racism problem and have a more equitable, diverse, and inclusive campus community. And I am pleased to let you all know that the work has already started. Before I end my speech today, I would like to say that as international students representative, we are proud of the research that our Asian professors do on campus and the graduate students who assist in their research. We have a strong Asian community on campus, enriching all our experiences here and sharing its culture and heritage with us. The ISA is honored to work for them, and we shall continue our work to support our Asian and all international students, community members at the U of A. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chanpreet. We are very proud of you and ISA to represent and to support our international students community. Thank you very much. Before I invite our last speaker, Dr. Wendy Rogers, to provide closing remarks, I want to take the opportunity to spend some time reflecting on the meaning of heritage and how Asian heritage impacted me and made me the person that I am today. Heritage encompasses many things. It is about our ethnic roots, of course, but it also includes cultural teachings and personal experiences. It is about who you are and where you have come from to get to where you are today. For me, my heritage has shaped my values, my personality, my goals, and much more. Everywhere I have gone in life, I have taken my heritage with me. And I don't mean only in terms of physical travel, but also in my personal journeys. As an international student, I have studied in the UK, Canada, and the Netherlands. Now as an Asian Canadian and a university administrator, I look back and see how much my heritage has shaped those experiences and made me the person that I'm today. The Chinese culture has a strong commitment to education. As the Chinese saying goes, it takes 10 years to grow a tree, but 100 years to educate a people. The Chinese say, 10年树木，百年树人. This really resonates with me because I view education as such a dynamic pursuit, both personally and academically. It is one of the reasons that I enjoy working in higher education and observing the journeys of the students, professors, and the staff that come to U of A from all over the world. Another Chinese saying that comes to mind that I feel is impactful as we celebrate this month is for any three persons working together, I'm bound to be able to find the teachers among them. 三人行必有我师, meaning that a modest learner shall learn from everyone around. This is a major aspect of higher education and the vibrant learning community that is created through the diversity at U of A. As we learn from others with a different background, we learn from ourselves and about ourselves as well. These educational values emphasize commitment to learning and work hard, and are an important complement to the Canadian education values that emphasize students' independence, choice, critical and creative thinking. I think it is critical for various perspectives to be considered and explored during one's life experiences. If we can learn from each other's values, then we can work towards a global worldview that will enrich our local and international communities. As we reflected on the meaning of a heritage, I will share that I believe that one's heritage is truly something to be treasured. We share our heritage and customs with many others, but it impacts each one of us in unique ways. You carry it with you throughout the life. It is something to be celebrated and cherished. This month, I hope that all Asian and Asian Canadians will embrace their heritage and share it with others. I also hope that we can all celebrate Asian Canadians and their contributions to our campus, our city, our province, and country. At U of A, we celebrate Asian Heritage Month widely thanks to a welcoming and multicultural environment that promotes equity, diversity, and inclusion. Thank you. So now I would like to invite Dr. Wendy Rogers, Deputy Provost, to make the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Chen. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today for this celebration of Asian heritage at the University of Alberta, and to just point out how lucky and proud we are that you all chose to be with us here at the University of Alberta, and we appreciate that choice. It's been a pleasure to hear about the diverse perspectives that are available here with relation to Asian heritage, and this reminds us of the strength of diversity and sharing cultures. At the University of Alberta, we value multiculturalism, we value diversity, and we also appreciate all the Asian culture and heritage and the many ways that it has influenced and shaped Canadian culture, cuisine, the arts, science, and medicine. And thank you for all of the contributions that you make here at our university to those things that enrich our whole country. The Asian and Asian Canadian communities in Canada bring a vast wealth of cultural perspectives, and through that rich heritage, we explore these perspectives and can help us to understand and share the journeys of others. We acknowledge the resilience and the perseverance of Asian people and communities, and that they have faced discrimination in history, and unfortunately that continues today, but we've had pledges today to stand up against that racism and to take active steps to prevent it in future, and to educate the rest of our community to make sure that we are resilient and that we uphold those others that are the targets of the racism that we would like to discourage. We stand strongly against any kind of racism, as has already been said, and especially anti-racism sentiment as a community, and we have to actively and continuously build and support a safe, respectful, and inclusive environment for all. I'm glad that everybody mentioned that we already do have pretty good equity, diversity, and inclusivity at the University of Alberta, but we welcome the opportunity to do better, because we would like to be a very supportive community that helps us create a more supportive community beyond us in the province and the country. I hope today's talks will inspire everybody to consider different perspectives and wonder about and ask questions about how Asian culture has influenced each of us and what we can do to ensure that we embrace multiculturalism and appreciate how a pluralistic approach enriches our thinking, our studies, and by extension, our communities. Dr. Patten already invited us to be active and deliberate in those pursuits. So if we can all think of just one way that we could do one thing different to encourage that multiculturalism that we've all heard a lot about today, that's going to help make University of Alberta a better place. Asian Heritage Month gives us an opportunity to reflect on our individual and collective efforts to advance equity and inclusion, and how we might take action on those fronts more broadly. And I just want to thank the organizers of the association, of the event, the Association of Canadian and Chinese Professors, Engage India, the Professors Association, and Dr. Chen Huang, and the University of Alberta International, and thank everybody for joining us here for this celebration. It's been wonderful.
So I want to thank Wendy very much, and I think I skipped the introduction, you know, to Dr. Rogers. I'm just added to that. Dr. Rogers was appointed Deputy Provost in July 2015. As Deputy Provost, she leads key strategic initiatives with organizational-wide impact and provides advice and directions on academic issues affecting the university. Wendy has a long history of administrative and governance roles within the university. Very importantly, Wendy is the institutional lead on the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Initiative and the university's quality assurance process. I just want to say thank you very much for your leadership and for your commitment. Your leadership in EDI is truly appreciated by all of us at U of A. So finally, I think we're doing very efficient today. I would like to thank all our speakers at this event. Because of your leadership and commitment, we are able to appreciate and value our diverse cultural heritages and equity inclusion at this great institution. I would also like to thank all the participants who join us to celebrate Asian and our diverse cultural heritage. When we stand together, we are one. We can combat all forms of racial discrimination and stop Asian hate, and we can make a difference. So thank you very much again. So I think this will end our today's event. So thank you.